welcome to Sports Counsel, your playbook for all things sports. I am your host Matt, and I'm here with G for this episode of the show. It is the Sports Counsel Thanksgiving special. In honor of the Thanksgiving holiday, we will be building what our ideal play of fantasy players would be for this season. We will also recap an action-packed Week 12 in fantasy football in our listener league, and we reveal our special Thanksgiving themed starts and sits for Week 13. Today is November 25th, 2025, and this is episode 197 of the show.
What's up, Matt? It's just the two of us.
It's a two-man game today, G. It's a two-man game. I mean,
It's
I guess
just a
everyone
bob
else
and
just
weave.
left for the holidays already.
We had to give someone a break. Yeah, we had to give them a break. We gave them some PTO. We'll let them enjoy their time with their family, It's all right. They'll be back next week, and we'll be right back to it.
Yep. But I mean, they're enjoying the holidays, but we want to make sure that you are enjoying the holidays as well by winning in fantasy, of course. So we stuck around. We're going to help you out with your lineups and whatnot. But before we get to that, we are Sports Counsel. And G, where can the people find Sports Counsel?
It's my duty and responsibility to tell the people where they can find Sports Counsel, and I'm going to make it easy for them today. What you're going to do is go to your favorite social media platform, Twitter, X, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Facebook, wherever you find us. Even we're on YouTube now. What you're going to want to do is go and search Sports_Counsel. Couldn't be easier. It's 2 words divided by underscore. We're on all your favorite social medias. Go follow us. Go check us out. We got a lot of great content on there for you guys. And then once you're there, go click the link in the description and join our bio or join our Discord. Links in the bio for that, for all our social media as well. Go ask us questions, have any conversations with us. Whatever you have, go to Discord. We'll always be there as well. So a bunch of different places to find us, all free. That's the best part. One more time for the people in the back. Sports_Counsel on all your favorite social media. Go and follow.
Yeah, and we will be active this Thanksgiving weekend. So if you are, just tired of spending time with your relatives and family over the Thanksgiving and you're kind of watching football, just come onto the Discord, chat with us there. I'm sure people will be in there. I'm sure we're all in the same boat at some point in the day. So come join the Discord, come follow. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, it'll be a good time. We'll get to watch Dak Prescott.
I feel like this is an actual good slate of games for the first time.
Yeah.
All 3 of them are actually good, right?
It's the first time in a long time that all three games are good.
Yeah, I mean, usually it's one, the Lions are usually the one that's pretty bad, right? But then, I feel like all of them, they're pretty good. And then even the Bengals, Ravens, I think those are the worst records. But I mean, usually it's a shootout between those two. So looking forward to it.
And they forced Joe Burrow back, so that should be fun.
They need to do it for our entertainment. It's for the holidays. But
agreed. Well, let's get right into it. I'll recap our Week 12 of our listener league here. Quite an exciting one, if I do say so myself, man.
Maybe for you.
Maybe for me, and we'll start off with neither of us. How about that?
Okay.
We'll start with the Celtics, D. Romeo against loser mentality having ass Gav, whose whole mantra seems like it's flipped on its head from last week. But it was a close one, but lost 135-140. D. Romeo pulls that up. And I know we talked about it last week, but these matchups are so close, and by point differential, by record, and then just losing by 5. And now Gav's right outside the playoffs, looking in.
I would be mad too if I was Gav. I don't know. I don't exactly understand what the team name means, but he lost by 5. And there's a 0 in his lineup, and that's Jamison Williams. And I'm sure he's not the only one who was affected by the JMO 0 bomb after he was putting up wide receiver 10 numbers, top 10 numbers there. And then he just disappoints everyone with a 0. That's terrible.
Yeah, you didn't really have anybody on the bench to play, so it's hard. Hindsight's always 20/20, but sucks to suck. Couldn't be me, right?
Oh boy, I don't.
Well, it takes us to our next matchup. Also, another very, very close matchup here. Jai record. We have a whole lot of baby mamas. Dylan, podcaster, versus Fourth Down Syndrome Jamar, another podcaster. But the game was not close. 151-101 for Jamar. Pulls out a much needed win. And now he's right back into the playoff mix. And Baker being out really hurt Dylan, but at the end of the day, his team just didn't perform. He had 3 guys on bye, nothing world beaters, but, it just is what it is. Bad week, you chalk it up and move on to next week, right?
Yeah, 2-game losing streak for Dylan, so that's not good for him, for his playoff hopes. And Jamar, 151. Jesus. I mean, that's the second highest score of the week. Almost, he could have gotten the topic here, but unfortunate. And on an unrelated note, happy birthday, Jamar. I heard it was your birthday.
Yeah. So happy birthday, Jamar. We'll have you back on the pod after PTO is over, man.
We're very kind.
We're great people. Don't ever, believe otherwise.
Yes.
But that takes us to our next matchup, a pretty shit matchup here. It's King Midi Whoop'em versus J-Rock's Eat Kittens. Microphone Assassin got his ass beat, man, by 50 plus 127 to 71. I think that's just 2 50-point blowouts so far. It's not looking good for some of these people in the league, but the league continues, man. T. Higgins got hurt for him, but otherwise his team just, Mark Andrew was bad. DeAndre Swift is bad. Shaheed has been bad since he's got traded. Sean Tucker did not put 40 points again. Who would have thought? And, a few guys on bye, that'll get you a 50-point loss.
I feel like a lot of the week so far has been just either you did great or you flopped. Midi just relied on his guys and JSN, Puka, Caleb Williams, and then, the other team, he just flopped.
Yeah, talking about that, I think that's the next matchup here as well. We got Ugly Kid versus Decker. I was 7-1. You guys can probably guess what that means. The Ugly Kid is on the board with a win, 122-91. Huge win for him. Decker spiraling. This is a mess. What do you think, Matt?
What is it, like 4 straight losses? So
7-1 to 7-5 for Decker, yeah. And first win in I don't know how many weeks. I'm not sure, but a lot.
Good job, Ugly Kid. We'll talk about the standings later, but this was a much needed win, and he is still in the playoff mix somehow.
Nobody's eliminated yet.
Nobody, and that's crazy. We have 2 weeks left in the season.
We will go over in detail how close this is in just a second, but we got 2 matchups left, just me and Matt. Unfortunately, we didn't play each other. We won this next week, but this week in week 12, it was Nando versus YMC3, younger than ever, 118 to 95. Matt, on the wrong side of a blowout there. Man, what happened?
Have you ever had that feeling where you had like just the worst loss? It's like a loss that's complete bullshit. Like, there's no reason why you should have lost, but you do lose. And that's fantasy for you. So Nando had Josh Jacobs out, and he didn't switch his lineup. He had Bo Nix on bye, and he didn't switch his lineup. So I was playing 8 versus 10, right? And then let's talk about some of the people that I was also playing against. Christian Kirk, Romeo Doubs in the flex, and Kyle Pitts as tight end. And he scored
a combined 25.
Yes. But Christian Kirk goes off for a season high. DJ Moore goes off for a season high. Amon-Ra scores nearly 30. And then my guys just completely flop. I had a lot of players that were injured, a lot of players that are out on bye. But I felt like this was the loss that just happens every season, where one of the losses is going to be just complete bullshit. And you just got to live with it. And I wish I won, because I would have clinched playoffs.
Unfortunately, that is not the case. He did not clinch. He's still fighting. Matt, it is going to be a tough week here for you after losing to Nando. I did say you have me next, and I don't want to toot my own horn, but as the last matchup, I did save the best for last. It was Less Garbage Team, or also known as my team here, versus We Are So Back. Our fellow podcaster, Bryant, was not on this week, was also on PTO, but Bryant put up a nice 126, would have beat almost half the league, but you ended up matching against the wrong guy. I think Bryant kind of mentioned it last week. He was just on the wrong side of a moving or crashing train, right? And he got put 211 points on his head by me. It was quite the ass beat. I almost put up 100 more points than him. You'd be like, how? Gee? Well, the guy we haven't mentioned yet this whole podcast, as on my team, remember? Jahmyr Gibbs? Yeah, he's great. CMC, everybody doubted him. He's great. Wan'Dale Robinson, no one knew about him, but he's great. Trey McBride, absolutely fantastic. Michael Wilson is just a fucking hero, a war
Crazy
hero.
waiver wire pull.
Yeah. And then we had the Browns defense with another 18. It was just a great week. And Justin Jefferson only had 8, and Mahomes had 18. So, hopefully we can, get a good everybody to be on the right page at the same time when the playoffs come like this. And, I don't think there's anybody that can match up with us. But hopefully we continue to play well, coach talk, as they say. I just need my guys to do what they do and just continue to perform the way they do.
55 points from Jahmyr Gibbs. That's insane. I think that's that's probably the highest score maybe this season from a player.
So far, I think so, yes.
Yeah, and then you obviously have the highest score in the entire league just the entire time, in the entire season. I think this is a new season high in terms of points because you got the A team out here. You've got 3 first-round draft picks in your lineup, and then Trey McBride as well to boot. So very hard to beat. Bryant said he had a 20% chance of winning even with his full lineup. I'm looking at the matchup that we have right now, G. I have a 22% chance to win right now. You're projected 150 every week, and it's crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot, man. But, it's still fantasy football. It's a fantasy. Anything can happen. That's kind of how fantasies work, right? So
exactly. I just learned that.
Yeah, exactly. Anything can happen. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. This week is going to be an interesting one. But I do want to go through the standings here. So we'll start at the bottom. Ugly Kid with his big win is now 4-8, putting him 1 game behind 4 different people. So going from 11th to 8th, we have J-Rock, Nando, Gav, Bryant. So we have 11, 10, 9, 8, and basically all separated within 100 points scored. So this is going to be close. One win could jump Ugly God to 7th, 8th. It could be a huge change coming here. We just don't know yet. And then that takes us to the next group of people. We have 2 6 and 6s in Jamar and D. Romeo. That's your 6, 7. Yeah, I did it. Oh, I'm sorry. Then our next 4 all 7 and 5, going from 5th to 2nd. We got a whole lot of baby mamas. Dylan, I was 7 and 1. Decker, younger than ever. Matt, then myself, less garbage team. And then King Mitty Whoop'em somehow still at top, squeaking by. And then you might be wondering what's separating everybody here. Besides myself, who has a lot more points scored against and for, everybody else is basically separated by 100 points or 200 points from 1,400 to 1,600, and 2 wins separate top to bottom, basically. So these last few weeks of fantasy football are going to be crucial.
I love it. I love that we have a competitive listener league. All 12 people are participating, and nobody's eliminated from the playoffs yet. Everybody has a chance. Even Ugly Kid, who we said was 0-4 to start, and he's 4-8 now. I mean, he still has a chance. He could climb up and literally a lot of things will have to go his way, but he still has a chance to make the playoffs, and that's what it's all about. Never give up. Never kill yourself.
Please don't ever do that. Oh, shit. All right. Well, with that being said, I did have 211 points, and you could guess I had the highest scoring week this week. I have chosen a fun Christmas-related, a month too early, Thanksgiving-related episode topic today. We will go ahead and construct our fantasy Thanksgiving plates and then our fantasy football Thanksgiving plates. So what I mean by that is first we're going to pick 5 things. How we like our turkey, potatoes, maybe however you like those as well. 2 side dishes and a dessert. We're going to keep it simple to 5. Yes, we know there's way more than 5 things. Just kind of what we like for Thanksgiving. And then we'll kind of play a fun version of just a fantasy choose player type of thing between me and Matt here. We'll pick a quarterback, a running back, wide receiver, a tight end, a flex. We'll go snake back and forth, and just kind of pick players that are based off this year, and then give them our comps to our turkey food. Right? Makes pretty more sense once we get into it. But what you thinking, Matt? You ready?
Yeah, I mean, great topic, G, because I like the connection to Thanksgiving. It's part of our Thanksgiving special. Allows us to kind of talk a little bit about fantasy and kind of, I guess, our food preferences as well. I don't expect any huge changes unless, you got some wild taste there.
No, I necessarily don't. We'll hop right into it. I mean, I'll go into mine. Generally speaking, I'm not too picky of an eater. So, Thanksgiving's like right up my alley. I'll eat whatever comes out, right?
Hmm.
But, we are going to go turkey, both of us, I think, here. Got to have some. I'm not the biggest fan of turkey. Got to have some other proteins on the side and stuff, but just leave that as my entree. Give me some potatoes and gravy. Can't go wrong. Some mashed potatoes. Oh, man, so good. And then I got two side dishes. I'm going to go mac and cheese because it's a must. It's almost a lock. And then second side dish might feel a little repetitive, but I want some sweet potatoes too. I know, yes, I have regular mashed potatoes already. The sweet potatoes is a little vibe. I need that as well. And then end of the day, third football game is getting started. Dessert comes out. I could do some pie. I could do some ice cream, some cookies. I feel like I'm gonna have all of that throughout the day. I want something that's gonna be like freshly baked or cooked. You know what I mean? And so give me some banana bread. Oh my God, I love some banana bread.
Interesting. Interesting last choice there. I'll go very quickly with my lineup. That's a very solid lineup, by the way, G. On my plate, if I was limited to 5, and I definitely would try to take more during the plate, but if I had to choose 5, I would obviously go with turkey and potatoes. Those are the staples for a Thanksgiving meal. I know a lot of people, they don't like turkey. They try to switch it to like a duck, I guess, or like a chicken. That doesn't seem right? You can have chicken any other day. You have to have turkey on Thanksgiving. I'm a very big purist when it comes to that, so you gotta have turkey. And then for the side dish, obviously I gotta go mac and cheese. Mac and cheese is just obviously a banger, no matter what. You gotta have it on your plate. Sweet potatoes, I'm gonna modify it a little bit for a yam kind of dessert kind of thing. My parents, they make this amazing kind of candied yams thing with pecans. It's just amazing, and I could never go without it. I know stuffing is obviously a very, good answer as well, but I already have my carbs and mashed potatoes, so I don't need that. And then for dessert, I am gonna go with pumpkin pie here. I think pecan pie is also a good choice, solid choice with ice cream. Oof, I'm already ready to eat, honestly.
Yeah, I can't wait to eat.
Yeah, I'll save that for Christmas. But pumpkin pie, I usually prefer that for Thanksgiving. That's my plate.
That's pretty solid. I mean, I think we're kind of, agreeing on most things here. I would be okay with some pie and some ice cream, or if you brought me some yams, I'll eat those too. I don't really care. Like I said, I'll eat whatever's out there, especially after
Exactly.
you take your adult walk. You know what I mean? You go do your activities outside, come back in. Whew, I'll be ready.
All right, G, how about your lineup?
Yeah, with that being said, my fantasy football Thanksgiving plate / lineup, whatever you want to call it, I got to start it off with receiver. I feel like receivers have been dominating. There's been one on top of the mind, one who I would build around, like your turkey, right?
Hmm.
It's JSN. It has to be. He's my hero. I loved him coming out of Ohio State. Matt, as you kind of recently found out, joined my dynasty team. He's a core piece of our dynasty team.
Hmm.
We built around him. He's been that guy, and it's just an amazing guy. So he's my turkey comp. That's it.
Yeah, that's a solid first choice right there. I mean, you gotta have, the main dish, right? And GSN's just been the main guy throughout the entire fantasy season. So I'm gonna go with another main guy here. He's also kind of like he definitely belongs in the white meat section. It's
Oh
Christian
shit.
McCaffrey.
That
He
uncooked stuff.
it doesn't matter if it's uncooked or not, but he is actually very tasty in terms of a fantasy option because
Okay, I was gonna say.
I was gonna say
You gotta say that quick.
as a fantasy option, CMC hit me up.
Wow.
McCaffrey has just been amazingly consistent ever since he went missing basically last year. And he's just been right back into RB1 form. He just had another amazing game against the Panthers. This guy just does not quit, does not fail, and he should be the main dish. He should be the star of your lineup.
Yeah, that's respectable. I mean, you can't go wrong with a running back, especially one like McCaffrey as your main turkey. But like for me, it's just like the receiver is just like, especially JSN. It's so appealing. You know what I mean? It's like fancy turkey. It's not just a regular, meaty turkey. I got like a fried turkey or something.
I don't know. I'm not doing no fried turkey on Thanksgiving.
I've
You
never
gotta
had it,
stick
but
to
I'd
the
be open to
basics.
trying it.
I'd be open. I'd be open to it. Is it like that Disneyland thing, right? Don't they do like the
Yeah,
fried turkey leg?
but essentially, yeah, it's like that. But obviously, you get the whole turkey, and I think making it is also like a very extreme process of like I don't know if you've seen it. This is getting very
Yeah,
off
it's like
tangent, but
dangerous,
quickly.
right? Like
Yeah,
there's
it's
like
like
fires and
extremely
stuff.
dangerous. Yeah, there's this big ass pot of like boiling hot oil, and then you dump the turkey in it using like a wire or something. I've seen some janky ass videos. I can't wait to see them again this year.
Insane. That's our fantasy football punishment, by the way.
Oh shit,
You gotta cook
young
one.
boy, young boy.
You gotta film it, you gotta record it, and then we get to eat it. Maybe.
Like after like the Thanksgiving games where the players get like a turkey leg, we'll get one as well.
Depends on how well you cook it.
Okay. Well, I'll let you go back to back here. You got the potatoes, or whatever you pick here.
Okay, yeah, potatoes. So I decided to go with my flex here. So I'm gonna go with another running back. I mean, if you can combine CMC with Devon Achane, which you honestly could have done in a lot of leagues this year, you would have had just that 1-2 punch of just overloading the running back position in any matchup that you have, right? Achane's just been as consistent as McCaffrey, obviously kind of lower ceilings, maybe not as always a touchdown guarantee or as many receptions. But again, you pair your turkey with your potatoes, he's a solid kind of Robin to the Batman that I'm building here in this Thanksgiving plate. So give me Devon Achane. Ooh, wait a second.
That's a solid.
Let me
That's
do
a
this
solid
over.
pick. No, that's a solid pick. You take that. I'm gonna pair my potatoes with my turkey the way you should. I'm gonna get my potatoes to be Trey McBride, and I'm gonna pair those as my potatoes with my JSN. Because if you got JSN and he's like your turkey, you're building around it, you need something. I'm not gonna say white, but potato style. You're gonna need something, and I would rather have that kind of figured out. So I'm gonna go Trey McBride off of potatoes, and then people kind of accuse Trey McBride of being a little not so white all the time. So I would compare that to like you got the gravy on top of your mashed potatoes. Whew, that shit's good, man. And that's just like Trey McBride. He's so good when you watch him play. You're just like, this guy's unstoppable. And Jacoby Brissett has been his quarterback. That's amazing. And then I'm going to go right back to my next pick here with my main side dish. We mentioned mac and cheese. We both love it. But what's the best part about mac and cheese? It can be so many different things. It's so versatile. You get it all. You get, whatever you want. And for me, I'm going to take the running back comp of that, which is going to be Jahmyr Gibbs. So with that, I'm looking at, a do-it-all running back. We just seen what he did, 55 fantasy points, the receiving yards, the catching, the running, the explosives, like everything was there. And that's mac and cheese. Like it could be like a side. It could be like a main if you add some protein. Like it could be whatever you want. So you can never doubt the Jahmyr Gibbs / mac and cheese. And I feel like they used to call him that, right? Like, or something, maybe.
I feel like there's a lot of different mac and cheeses out there. Some of them can be really bad, but Jahmyr Gibbs, like, he's an elite kind of mac and cheese, right? He's the one that they actually use actual shredded cheese and stuff like that straight from the block,
exactly.
right?
The five different blocks that someone spent 10 minutes each shredding. That's the type of cheese and the talent Jahmyr Gibbs is.
Yeah. So I know and I understand that this is maybe not the best option, but if you're gonna go mac and cheese, you gotta go Tucker Kraft mac and cheese, right? That's what I'm dealing with here. And I know he's hurt, but this is an ideal fantasy world where I can build my plate of any meal I want, so I can get any fantasy player I want. And when he was healthy, Tucker Kraft was absolutely killing it with the Packers. He was gonna be a tight end 1 on the season, and I miss him very dearly. But give me Tucker Kraft here as my kind of foundational piece.
That's a solid, very, very solid foundational piece. And I think it's like one of those things where like right now it's like someone just made it bad. That's why he's like kind of on the IR. That's like when your bad cousin makes it. But like when your like mom makes it, that's like Tucker Kraft on a good day, right? Like that's the real good mac and cheese that you need.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is the kind of mac and cheese where there just wasn't enough for the entire family for the whole sitting. So it only lasted halfway through kind of dinner. But I got mine when I could, so.
Exactly, and that's all that matters. You put it on your plate and you ate it.
Yeah, it's all about me. All right, so my second side dish, I will go with the yams, the candied yams. This is kind of a sweeter dish. This is kind of like an extra bonus dessert. It's kind of like a dessert as well as kind of part of your side dish. So a bonus kind of guy that I thought has been a great fantasy option has been Devontae Adams. Give me Devontae Adams. He was my council champion to start the season, and he's just been kind of a bonus for the Rams offense and fantasy owners in general because you got him in the 4th or 5th round. You thought he was just great, and he could be basically your best wide receiver on your team right now. And those sweet little touchdowns have just basically been a bonus in your lineup every little time, and it's just sweet owning him, man. It would be great.
Yeah, I mean, that's like one where I was like, damn, you passed up on it, but you're kind of looking back at it and you're like, damn, I wish I could have had some of the yams, man. They kind of look good. Now they're gone. And you're like, fuck, bro, everybody's talking about the yams. You ain't get any of the yams. And now that's like my fantasy teams. I don't have Devontae anywhere. Everybody's talking about how Devontae's carrying their fantasy teams, And I thought it was going to be old and washed.
It sucks, man. I wish I followed my own advice for the young men's club. We could have gotten a veteran there.
Yeah, I mean that probably makes sense, but who knows? It's all right. You see the good yams next year, and they probably just won't be as good, right?
Yeah, I mean they could flop sometimes, but you get spoiled yams. It could happen.
Well, I hope they're not, and I hope the next dish I get is also just as sweet as the sweet potatoes. For my player, I'll be selecting for the sweet potatoes. I'll take JT. It's like kind of fundamental, but you still need it, right? It's like you're gonna be like, oh well, I got my regular mashed potatoes and Trey McBride, but then like the sweet potato just hits a whole different like taste bud. That's why you need that as well. So you still need the JT on top of it, and it's also just extremely, extremely reliable almost every year, right? Like every year, I feel like JT is reliable, good, and then once in a while, he gets injured or made bad. That's the sweet potatoes. It's supposed to be, I would say, 9 out of 10 times. Delicious, and that's JT. Like 9 out of 10 games, he'll have a good one. Then he plays the Chiefs, and it's a bad game. It's all right.
Sweet potatoes are different from yams because they don't have that extra, like maybe like the brown sugar or that's like JT, right? He's more fundamental. He's more down to earth, grounded, but he doesn't get that receiving work, but he's much more of like a beast in terms of like the fundamentals. So I definitely agree. That's a good comparison there.
Yeah, and then that takes me to my final dessert. We're both looking at quarterbacks here, obviously, right? We got a quarterback's best for last. This is a sweet part of the night. You're kindly, finished and made some more space. You did some more grown-up walks, and now you're ready again. Jesus. And you go for the banana. As much as I can get through, bro, with all this food. So I'm gonna look at this banana bread, and I'm just like, oh man. I need something. I need that. And that's Josh Allen. I need that. I need that man at my quarterback. I don't care how volatile and how bad the bad lows can be in fantasy wise. That man's always quarterback one. And I trust Josh Allen to be my, your cleanup hitter, your dessert, whatever you want to call it. At the end of the night, you go, you turn it on, you warm it up, whatever it is, it's going to be great. And that's just Josh Allen. Like fantasy wise, it's just fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm going to go Drake May here as my pumpkin pie. Drake May's just been a sensation to have, and it's very easy. It's just a very easy kind of thing. When you get your pumpkin pie, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I just get my pumpkin pie at Costco, pick it up, affordable, ready to go, and there's not a lot of, garnishes that you have to put on it. Maybe you put a little whipped cream on it, and that's just what Drake May is. He's kind of just a set, forget, and then he'll star and just make the whole lineup just so much better.
Yeah, I totally like that one too. That's a great comp. The pie and the Drake May, I feel like you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Well, I think I like my lineup a little bit better than yours, and I'm sure you like yours a little bit more. I feel like that's how all Thanksgiving plates go, right?
Yeah, I mean, as long as everybody eats, I think that works for us.
That's respectable. Well, you know what time it is. Last week we were mid, as the kids call it nowadays. We've been better. It's our starts and sits, week 13. It's just you and me. We're gonna lock in here, and we're gonna kill it. I don't see a miss on our board.
Okay. You're a lot more confident than I am in terms of our lineup so far, but like G said, we were kind of mid last week. We went 8-7 in terms of our week 12 starts and sits. That's technically a winning record right there. And as long as you're on the right side of our starts and sits, then you're probably pretty happy. But we always aspire to get better, so we dropped the guy and we made sure that we have our experts in for our Thanksgiving kind of lineups, because we know it's especially special. You don't want to lose on Thanksgiving weekend because it's just extra depressing. You're watching, the Thanksgiving football on your TV and you're crashing out. You don't want to crash out in front of your family there. Just a pro tip from experience.
Yeah, done it before. Steelers played on Thanksgiving a few years ago.
Yeah.
Not fun.
If your team plays on Thanksgiving, I wish you good luck.
Yeah, well, at least you won't have to play the Chiefs on Christmas like we did last year.
Oh, tell that to me and the Ravens on Christmas.
Oh, yeah, you did. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Look, well, let's get right into it. I'm going to start us off ugly. I'm going to get into the bottom of the barrel. I'm going to get to the nastiest part of the dinner. You know what I mean? Like,
this is what I was unsure about here, G.
What's the nastiest dish? Like the green bean casserole? Like, I don't even know if that's close enough. Like, this is like a burnt dessert or something, just absolutely does not it. But somehow, some way, even though it doesn't look good, doesn't taste good, it's still good. And that's Max Rosemer against Seattle.
Oh, gosh.
It's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. It is just most likely he's going to throw like 3 picks. But I liked what I saw in the preseason. I also just don't think, like, realistically, you can be this bad in a Kevin O'Connell offense. I just think with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, 2 decent running backs, and a decent O-line, a great coach that's calling plays, like you can't be this bad. So what I'm basically betting on is Max Rosemer is better than JJ McCarthy. And honestly, I'm taking it. I'm taking my chances. And this is like that one dish at the end of the table no one's touched. I'm taking my chances with it, and it's going to be good. I think it might hurt my stomach later, but right now it's going to be good.
It's like the Brussels sprouts of Thanksgiving right there. You have to eat it.
Exactly.
If you have to. I'll give
you
one.
have to, but you don't want it.
Yeah. I'll give you one thing because I don't like the pick, but I will give you one good part of it. Cam Ward last week finished as the quarterback 4 against Seattle. So it could happen.
Hey, anything can happen, man. Once they said the Niners spent a first-round pick on a quarterback, and it was the 7th-round pick that came in and was the hero. They said this could happen for Minnesota as well.
Yes. And honestly, if that happens, J.J. McCarthy needs to be just fired into the sun at this point.
And he probably will be.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to go to Thanksgiving Day, and I'm going to pick my starts of the week from there. You are starting Patrick Mahomes versus the Dallas Cowboys. And I think this is a fairly obvious one, so I'll give you a second one here. You are immediately starting Joe Burrow versus the Baltimore Ravens as well.
First game back, Matt?
First game back. You don't have any qualms whatsoever. Because if you are a Joe Burrow owner and you have held him throughout this entire season, basically he got hurt in week 2, I want to say, so it's been 12 weeks, about 12 weeks. You didn't just say, oh, okay, I don't think I should start him at this point. I give him a week to be healthy or whatnot. No, you kept him for a reason. You drafted him for a reason. He's your starting quarterback. You have to start him. And I think he is raring to go at this point. He was asked about, oh, should I sit out the season because I'm already 4-8? No, he's a competitive football player. These guys get paid to do this, and he wants to go out there and win for his team. This is the kind of game, both of these games, both Mahomes and Joe Burrow, these are going to be shootouts. I firmly believe that. And I think Mahomes, he wants to go back to Texas, back in Dallas, just put on a spectacle. I think this is his first time playing in Thanksgiving, so I'm sure he wants to really kind of show the world. I mean, he's already shown them everything, but
the Dallas defense is, played better recent, but I still don't buy in the total thing that they're this, totally different defense than the Dallas defense we know and love. It's just they're fantasy gold, and I think they're going to find out that they're fantasy gold this week when they get absolutely shredded by Mahomes. And I think, if you're looking at it, like, maybe will Dak do the same? Most likely, it might be a very high-scoring game.
Exactly. And Mahomes, he's only thrown 1 touchdown in the last 3 games. I just think he's raring to bounce back at this point. So I think both of these are going to be like your backyard football that you play with your, family members and your cousins out there. This is going to be a scoring fest. There's no defense actually played in those. So give me Joe and Mahomes.
No defense Thursday. That's what I'm calling it.
Love it. Love it for fantasy.
Then we're going to go to the well for these running backs as well, man. They're going to say, like, gee, are you insane? And I'm going to tell the people, yes, I'm insane. I'm like the the pilgrims that came to America the very first time and tried to speak English to Native Americans that obviously don't speak English. I'm lost in the head, man, and I'm just finding these guys. I'm taking R.J. Harvey against Washington and Devin Neal against Miami. 2 rookie running backs. Give me them all. I want it. This is crazy. It doesn't make any sense. Devin Neal is just first week starting, and he might actually be still starting. We don't even know if Kamara might play. But regardless, Miami's defense has been awful. Washington's defense has been awful. We're going to target these bad defenses. We're going to find where the best matchups are and the opportunity. No more Dobbins. Maybe Kamara is going to be out this week. This is going to be looking good for both of these young guys. Late in the season now, the young guys are still more fresh. This is where you take off if you're one of these young running backs that wants to be the starting running back next year, like Devin Neal. This is going to be his opportunity, and it's the best defense you could be playing. Miami's awful. Don't let the past games against the Browns and stuff confuse who Miami is, right? They're still a bad defense. I just imagine these young running backs coming in and just, they don't know what's going on. They're just looking for some food. They're looking for some cornbread and some mac and cheese. Let them eat, man. Let these youngins eat.
Yeah. I am going to go with Saquon Barkley and Travion Henderson as my 2 running back starts of the week. And yeah, we're trying to feed you as many picks as possible. We know we're only 2 people out here, so we're trying to give you as many players as you can for your fantasy lineups this Thanksgiving. Let's start off with Saquon Barkley. He's playing on Black Friday. It's just been a hard time for him to get going so far, and I think now that the Eagles finally lost, it's going to be a little bit of a wake-up call. They really just need to use him a lot more. I think right now, the efficiency's fine. He's performing just fine, but they just don't use him enough, and it just feels like the play caller the offensive coordinator, he just doesn't have any rhythm right now. They need to get it going against the Bears. They're at home. The Bears don't have a very good run defense, so they should really just give it to Saquon Barkley. Feed him. He's not complaining like A.J. Brown is, but they really should kind of prioritize him. And then for Travion Henderson, he's playing on Monday Night Football. If, you're one of those guys who kind of got Travion on a discount, like you can on Black Friday, this is why you did it. Because he has just the most amazing schedule at the last stretch of the season. Giants are terrible against the run this season, and it looks like he has established himself as a starter for the Patriots. It didn't work out well against Cincinnati, and maybe I should stop picking them because I keep on picking them and exploiting them. But I still believe in the talent here, and I believe it carries over against the Giants.
Those are some very solid picks, and the young running backs, man, we love them, right?
Yep, gotta love them young.
That's crazy. Go to your next pick
for fantasy.
No, you're on one today, bro.
In my fantasies. All right. Wide receiver starts of the week. I'm going to go with Troy Franklin versus the Washington Commanders on Sunday Night Football and Zay Flowers versus the Cincinnati Bengals on Thursday Night Football. You almost thought that I wasn't going to pick a Cincinnati pick. Nope. I am going to go right back to Cincinnati right here. I don't really care if it's flopped for the last couple of weeks. They're still a bad defense. I'm going to say this every week. They are a bad defense until I see otherwise. I think what happened against the Patriots, they lost a couple of their offensive linemen, so it wasn't very effective. They weren't very effective. But the reason why I like Zay Flowers, even though I really don't like him as a fantasy player, these guys are kind of like the centerpieces in Thanksgiving. If we had a Thanksgiving plate of meals, these guys wouldn't even be food options. They'd be the centerpiece on the table. They're pretty to look at. They're part of the holiday, but essentially they don't really do much for you usually. And that's what Zay Flowers and Troy Franklin have kind of been. They've just been kind of flex guys. But I really do think that they can blossom here because Franklin, against the terrible pass defense in Washington, they allow the second most points to wide receivers in fantasy right now. Zay Flowers, I think it's going to be a shootout between the Bengals and the Ravens. And the only time he finished as a wide receiver 1 this season was against the Bills when they really needed to pass. So I think that this time, given the volume, if they have to shoot it out, then I think Zay Flowers will be back as a top 10 wide receiver.
That's a bold one, man. I don't know, man. You keep picking on Cincinnati. You might be picking on Cincinnati again later. Who knows?
I'm poking the bear for sure.
You are. And we'll see if they respond. I'm going to be poking my own team here, or my former team for the year. I'm going Khalil Shakir against Pittsburgh. I just imagine Shakir is going to eat. Like, they're going to feast against the Steelers defense. It just feels like we're giving up 30 points a week. And we basically are. This is one of our worst defensive seasons under Mike Tomlin. This is like when everything goes wrong at Thanksgiving. The food tastes like ass. Your family's fighting. This is just a mess. You're not, enjoying Thanksgiving for its peaceful funness at all. It's just a mess. Like, that's the Steelers defense right now. And I feel like Shakir is going to come in there like one of those kids that just finished playing like a turkey bowl. It's 2:00, probably tired, hungry, starving. He's ready to eat whatever's given to him. And they're going to eat, in my opinion, against the Steelers this week.
I don't know what to say, man. It seems like you got some issues with the Steelers.
Oh, man, that's a nice way to say it.
Is it because you lost to the Bears?
Yes.
Mitty talked to you?
Unfortunate. We suck. Nah, we just unfortunately suck, and I wanted to talk shit to Mitty.
All right, then.
Well, you know what time it is. It's the favorite part of our starts and sits. It's the tight end touchdown guarantee. Completely not copyrighted by anybody. We got guys that are going to be in the end zone. I got a guy that's going to be in the end zone the day after Thanksgiving on Black Friday. Dallas Goedert. Give me a touchdown against Chicago. They're due for some offensive scoring, and I still do not think this Bears defense is good. We cannot do anything with Mason Rudolph. That does not mean that Jalen Hurts and this Eagles offense will not cook them. And I think they're going to cook on Black Friday. Just throw your leftovers in and just warm it up and just cook it up.
I like that. I like the analogy. I like the matchup. Give me Mark Andrews versus the Cincinnati Bengals.
Jesus Christ, Matt.
Yep. Okay. Bold declaration. If these two don't work this time against Cincinnati, I'll stop picking against Cincinnati for a week. Okay?
For a week.
But again, I cannot emphasize this enough. If this is the first time you're listening to this podcast, you have not heard the stats where Cincinnati has allowed the most touchdowns to tight ends this season. They allowed another tight end touchdown to Hunter Henry, who Bryant had as his start of the week. I should have picked him as my start of the week. That's the only Cincinnati pick that went right. But he's not here, so I get to pick Mark Andrews. And I think Lamar, whenever he's in the red zone, he's either going to go to Derrick Henry or Mark Andrews. I think he's going to go to Mark Andrews this time. So give me Mark Andrews. He's like a turkey, just kind of tasteless and bland. Boring sometimes, if no seasoning. But
damn,
this
Mark Andrews for no reason.
Hey, I meant what I said. When you add a little bit of gravy in this ideal matchup with Cincinnati, now we're really cooking with something. I really like him as an option here for your Thanksgiving plate.
Yeah, that's fair, man. I hope it works out for you. The Cincinnati hate that you have going, I hope it works, man. Otherwise, you just look crazy.
It doesn't make sense. They can't still be at the bottom and like not give up these performances. I think they're just doing it right now to spite me. But, whatever.
We'll see. I mean, that takes us right to our sits of the week. We're going to look at, different players here. I got Daniel Jones against Houston. Houston's defense has just been the grandma that calls the night at 9 o'clock, like you're not getting past her. Where when she says she's going to sleep after her food's done at 9 o'clock, she will be asleep on the couch, on the bed, somewhere that it's going to be over. And that's the defense for the Texans. I just see them as a brick wall. They've laid the law. You're not doing anything against us. They haven't allowed a quarterback to finish in the top 12 once this year, though they are directly limiting quarterbacks in fantasy as well. So this is the terrible matchup for Daniel Jones. And, it sucks because it's just terrible matchup after terrible matchup. It feels like since that Pittsburgh game for him. And now it's just kind of falling apart. Sam Darnold-esque, you could say. I would say even worse than what he did last year right now. What's going on with Daniel Jones, the way he's falling apart. But, hey, man, he's got to figure it out, man. But this is not the week. Houston draws a line. They give you that time. It's over.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be tough sledding for Daniel Jones, as well as Brock Purdy against the Cleveland Browns. They're going to go on the road at Cleveland, face Shedeur. It's going to be Shedeur's first home game, So I bet it's going to be kind of interesting, at least as much as, I guess a 3-win team could have, right?
And Browns, and nonetheless, too.
Yeah. But Brock Purdy actually phenomenally struggled against the Browns last time they faced off about 2 years ago. Something about Jim Schwartz's defense really confuses Kyle Shanahan. They play very physical, they play very man-to-man, and they're very good against the run. So they stop the Niners' play action early. They force Purdy to throw into these very tight windows with the man coverage. And this time he doesn't even have Debo or Ayuk. So he has Ricky Pearsall and he has, Jawan Jennings. And they're great, but they aren't as good as the other two. So I think it's just going to be a very hard time for Purdy. I think he wants to bounce back after a 3-interception game against Carolina, but this is not the matchup you want to bounce back with. It's on the road. It's going to be bad weather too, and he doesn't really perform well in bad weather games. So it's like getting a duck instead of a turkey for Thanksgiving, right? Like usually you expect Brock Purdy to be this main dish. He's the starter. He's this great guy, but I think you're going to end up getting a duck. And you're going to be like, where did the turkey go? Well, it's not here this week.
Oh, man. It's funny that you say the word duck because some might say that Brock Purdy throws ducks.
I'm not going to entertain that.
Okay. Well, sorry about that. I'm going to go to my sit here for running backs, and I'm going to go to Genty against the Chargers. It's just a difficult matchup. Or dog shit Raiders team. Unfortunately for Genty, he's not getting full off the main course of the turkey. He kind of like me, you expect a running back to get his main usage and his main fantasy points from the run game, as that's part of the name. But no, for Genty, it's been the pass game. And, maybe he'll get some garbage time fantasy points from there. But I would temper my expectations against this Chargers defense. If you got a great option on the bench or you have 3 running backs, it might be best to sit Genty this week. Against the Chargers defense, it's hard. He's going to have to get filled off the sides. You imagine yourself Thanksgiving dinner, all you got are different sides to eat. You could get filled if you have enough of it, but it's just not what you want. You come to Thanksgiving dinner or lunch or whenever you have your meal looking for some meat, and there's no meat for Genty this week.
Wow. I look for the side dishes, but that's just me.
Well, you're a freak, bro.
What are you talking about? Didn't we just have a whole conversation about this? Okay.
I know. It's just I'm a different guy on the podcast.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go with Rico Dowdle against the LA Rams as my sit of the week. Rico is kind of like that side dish that your friend brings on a Friendsgiving kind of social gathering. Sometimes, you don't expect much from your friends sometimes in terms of cooking, right? But Rico Dowdle, he was kind of like that guy, You didn't really know what you expected when you first got it, but it turned out to be fantastic. It actually, turns out your friend's actually a pretty decent cooker. Not this time, right? Maybe their oven broke this time. Maybe they had some kind of mishap. Maybe they just did it like 20 minutes ago, right? This side dish came out really poorly, and that's how I see it versus the Rams. It's just a really tough matchup, and he just didn't get a lot of carries last week against the Niners, and it was very confusing. So it makes it very uncertain as to whether you can start him. The Carolina offense looks just on and off sometimes, and when they're not playing the Falcons especially. So yeah, let me sit Rico Dowdle here.
Man, yeah, it feels like it's kind of crashing down for young Rico.
Yeah. All right, and I'm going to go back-to-back here. I'm going to go with Ricky Pearsall, and I'm pairing that with my Brock Purdy sit of the week as my wide receiver sit of the week. I feel bad, first of all, and I want to apologize to a fan that has been listening to our podcast the entire season. Her name is Bonnie. She's on Threads, and she's asked for the last 2 weeks, should I start Ricky Pearsall? And I have said yes both times. Because I honestly thought, because Ricky Pearsall was leading, he was in the top 5 in terms of receiving yards to start the season. The first quarter of the season, he was in the top 5 in receiving yards. Ever since then, he scored a total of, I want to say, 4 fantasy points in PPR, if I'm not mistaken. Like 1 point last week, and then like 2.6 this week. So, yeah, it's not good. And again, Cleveland's a very tough matchup, and they're going to play very physical on him. If Purdy is going to be uncomfortable and not able to get him the ball, then why would I expect him to have a very productive performance? I think that's just a very simple kind of way of going about it.
Interesting. I mean, I think it goes hand in hand. If Purdy doesn't have a good game, there's just no way Pierce still has a good game. So I feel like that's definitely makes a lot of sense. And it's a defensive matchups, right? We always talking about. I'm going to go find those two defensive matchups for my wide receiver and tight end start our sit of the week. I'll go back to back. Debo, Zach Ertz, both sits. Fuck it. Terry McLaurin, sit. Like anybody playing the Denver defense, sit. JCM, cut. I cut him in 2 weeks this morning. He's so ass. I'm sick of this whole Washington team. Jaden might come back, so maybe you want to keep Terry McLaurin on your roster and Debo, but these guys this week against Denver, it's just eating raw food there, man. It's just disgusting. The whole setup is disgusting. It's just like undercooked turkey. If your turkey's still pink or something, I hope no one's turkey's pink, but Debo and Ertz are going to be playing like they've eaten a bunch of pink turkey.
You think they should bring back Jaden Daniels this season? Like, there's been talk. He dislocated that elbow like 3 weeks ago, I want to say?
By my eyesight, I would thought he would be out for a whole year, right? That shit was disgusting. Yeah. Sure, he wasn't that bad, and he just dislocated it, pop it back in place, but like, for what? They're worse than the Bengals with less hope in the division. Like, because like even the Bengals could be like, we beat the Ravens twice and we're right back into the division race, which is technically true. Like, there's no path for the Commanders. Like, there's 7-8 teams that already like have 7-8 wins or 7 wins in that conference. It's cooked. It is cooked for the Commanders. I would keep Jaden out. I would just say he's hurt. There's no reason to say he's healthy to play and then not play him. That doesn't look good. Say he's hurt. Arm's not good. Call it.
Yeah, okay. Everyone saw it on TV. You don't have to like sell people on the injury. Not like JJ McCarthy and the concussion, right? So it's just...
Yeah, it's nothing like that. No one's going to be like, oh my God, dude, Jaden Daniels not that guy anymore. Like, if they do, they just don't watch enough football. But come back next year and try again. It's okay. Yeah. It's respectable.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to finish it off here. I'm going to sit Colston Loveland versus the Philadelphia Eagles. And this kind of pains me because I honestly think Loveland is starting to turn it on a little bit. The whole Bears offense, has been looking a lot better, especially with those rookie options. Loveland and obviously my first love, Luther Burden. They've been turning it on recently, but this is a terrible matchup. Philadelphia is one of the best teams at defending tight ends this season, and I just don't want you to go on your Black Friday game and just watch Colston Loveland do nothing the entire time and have you rage out and destroy the new TV that your family just bought for Black Friday, and then you're going to have to go right back and get another one. That would be very bad, and I recommend you don't do that. So to prevent you from doing that, I'm recommending you sit Colston Loveland.
Damn, that's a lot of things that are going on at once there.
If you do it early enough in the day, I'm sure you can buy 2 TVs. Then you can crash out and you can break one.
Okay, that's fine though.
That's some advice for you guys. But
okay, that's how to crash out appropriately.
I've done it before.
Thank you.
So
thank you, Matt.
That was your Week 13 Thanksgiving theme starts and sits. Amazing. And we are going to have the full list of starts and sits for you on Saturday afternoon. We obviously understand that there's going to be 4 games before Sunday. So we will also be posting, the Thanksgiving slate on Wednesday evening and the Black Friday slate on Thursday evening, I believe. So stay tuned for that. And you can obviously find that on our social medias. So once again, you can follow our Twitter and our threads, Sports_Counsel. You'll see the lists there. So stay tuned for that.
Hey man, Matt, as Thanksgiving is approaching here, we're supposed to be grateful. So I want to show some love to you, all our 19 different co-hosts, and all our listeners. We appreciate everybody. Stay safe, enjoy your time with the family, and all the food you're going to be devouring down. In Matt's case, all the sides for some reason. Just only eating. You guys enjoy yourselves. And, Matt, you got anything to say for the people?
No, you just covered it there, G. Thank you to everybody who's listened. Thank you to everyone who's participated in this podcast this season. I know this isn't our end of the year podcast, and we still have a lot of ways to go. But, we are just absolutely thankful for everybody who is a part of the Sports Counsel community and family. So thank you so much, guys. Have a great Thanksgiving.
See you guys.